Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas issued crash warning ahead of Chinese Grand Prix. The new rule brought in this season has changed the way some teams think towards the end of the race. Any driver who finishes in the top 10 will get a bonus point if they record the fastest lap. Valtteri Bottas was the first to do so when he won the Australian Grand Prix. The Finn was comfortably ahead of teammate and asked to pit with just a few laps remaining to get fresher tyres. The request was turned down by Wolff and Bottas put his foot on the gas to secure the extra point anyway. But that move comes with such a huge risk, and the Mercedes chief wants to ensure his team do not make any mistakes. "I am always skeptical about our guys putting in the fastest lap," said Wolff. "Because one day someone's going to end up in the wall and throw away a lot of points. And I hope it's not going to be a Mercedes." During the Bahrain Grand Prix last time out, Charles Leclerc picked up the bonus point after dominating for the majority of the race. But towards the finish, Red Bull's Max Verstappen found himself in loads of space and had time to pit. Christian Horner considered bringing his man in to attack Leclerc's record before the Ferrari youngster lost power and his position because untenable. "If you look at it, you've got a free pit stop for a point," he said. "It would be worth their roll of the dice at that point. It opens up a new dynamic which is interesting." The Chinese Grand Prix gets underway at 7:10 am. BST on Sunday. Next news: Lewis Hamilton, Mercedes chief explains crucial Sebastian Vettel tactics. During the season opening race in Australia, Vettel pitted early, which forced Mercedes into calling Hamilton in the following lap, which ultimately dented his hopes of winning. But the Silver Arrows got their own back in Bahrain on Sunday, as the Brit's second box gave him the perfect chance to attack and overtake his Ferrari rival, who was sent spinning on turn 4. "Bahrain is a very different sort of track," Allison explained. "Here, the asphalt is super rough, super hard on the tires, and as a result, instead of just slowing down by over 1 second over the tire life, they slow down by about 2.5 seconds. Which means that the car who comes in first for fresh rubber will go insanely faster for a lap or two compared to the one that stayed out. That means you can jump forward by a huge amount." We saw this most strongly with Lewis in his second stop relative to Sebastian. Before the stop, Lewis was about 4 seconds behind. 1 lap of fresh rubber after the stop and he was able to close up to the back of Sebastian's car. That gave us a chance to attack and overtake him. Allison also explained how Mercedes carefully consider their pit stops for other races in the calendar. Undercuts play a big part in the strategic choices made by the teams, he added. That's because over the course of a stint, tires gradually get slower and slower, meaning if you come in and put fresh tires on, you go a lot quicker. That gives you opportunities around a pit stop to jump in front of someone by putting on a faster set of tires and throwing in a quick lap and perhaps surprising someone who stayed out on the track. Now, at a normal circuit, the amount that the tire gets slower per stint is about 1 second. So at the end of your stint you can come in and put new boots on and effectively get a jump of about 1 second relative to your opponent. Next news: Max Verstappen, Netherlands F1 star reveals why he is glad he does not live in Holland. Verstappen is one of the hottest prospects in motorsport, with his performances turning heads on a regular basis. The Red Bull ace has been touted as having the potential to become the youngest F1 World Drivers' Championship winner ever. Is now one of the leading lights for Dutch sport and one of his country's most recognizable faces on the international scene. The 21-year-old has, though, admitted that there are negatives having his F1 exploits make him so famous. Kimi Räikkönen has the same trouble as I do in the Netherlands, Verstappen told Finnish newspaper. Probably all Finns recognize him. I always have a little trouble in my own country when I meet my family. I can't walk right anywhere without someone taking pictures and chatting with me. It has become increasingly difficult. Verstappen added, I enjoy being able to live in Monaco. It is quiet and peaceful, and nobody will be disturbed. I can do my own things, and the same peace is when the family comes to visit. We can go anywhere without getting disturbed. Verstappen has built up a legion of fans from across the planet as he seeks to break Sebastian Vettel's record and become the youngest ever F1 champion. Despite his problems when he returns to his homeland, he is delighted to have so much support from his countrymen. When the faces big opponents, the stadiums are always crammed, Verstappen said. We have a lot of orange shirts in place today in many formulas, and it is always curious to see them. On the other hand, it is also the case that there are not many countries in the world whose color would be as distinct from the rest of the world as orange. The Dutch are easy to identify with their orange shirts, and it adds an impression of their great amount. There are many people including England or Finland, but their color does not differ as clearly as the Dutch orange. Thank you for watching the video. Be sure to share and subscribe to your channel to get the latest sports news around the world. Wished health and success. Goodbye.